sister company, Skoda's Faber S2000 cars, and well, this youngster here, Jere Lemes, is a real star of the future, I think.
He is. Lemes has been really impressive. He's set some great stage times this weekend, and impressive, really is. He's been as high as 14th. I mean, he's doing a really, really good job. He's a lot neater and a lot smoother. Obviously, he doesn't have quite as much power as what Khaled had under his right foot there, but I mean, Lemes obviously knows the roads a little bit more. He's just a lot neater. He could actually end up being quicker than Khaled, because there's none of this drifting and sliding around.
Yeah, you will know these roads very well. Being a local driver, they're quite specialised. It's very different to the tarmac power stages we've seen in the city centres of Germany and France. This is the closest we get to circuit racing out here in Spain. All about finding the best racing line.
Driving on wet tarmac is in my opinion, is horrendous. Anybody who says they like driving on wet tarmac is either stupid or telling lies.
Yeah, 7/10 of a second down on that time from Khaled Al-Qasimi, but this isn't a bad effort, obviously, for Jere Lemes in the normally aspirated Super 2000 Skoda here. It's very interesting to see this Volkswagen test team this year. It's not just about evaluating new young drivers, it's also good for the team. Volkswagen obviously had a lot of success in the Dakar cross-country series in recent years, but it's all been about developing their knowledge and for the mechanics and engineers in a WRC event, as well as trying out a few parts as well sometimes, I'd imagine, for the Volkswagen Polo as well. And they're supposed to be joining the championship in 2013. Terrific to see them already out here in the stages in 2011. And Jere Lemes, well, he's done the team proud this weekend.
He's done a great job this weekend.
Cheer from his compatriots. Whoa, and a nice power slide through the roundabout as well. Let's have a look at his time compared to Khaled. 3:11.3, just 2/10 of a second down. Khaled and co-driver Michael Orr waiting patiently at the stop control. Plenty of fans down there as well who are going to be getting a close-up view.
I think by the time we're getting the likes of Latvala, Lowe, Hirvonen, I think we could be in under the 3 minutes. That sun is really warming up the tarmac on the second half of the stage. Also, the more cars that go over it will maybe dry a line. It's not as specific a racing line as Formula 1 because they're a bit more sliding around, but there is a bit of a line going. Dennis Kuipers could excel. Used to driving on tarmac back in Holland, so he's wet tarmac maybe not so much as a fear for him.
Yeah, he's just fresh from his best ever finish in the WRC back in France, so he'll be full of confidence. He's taken his time to get going this weekend, struggled a bit on the gravel on the first day, but he is now in the points following these late retirements we've had for Matt Wilson and then dramatically for Sébastien Ogier in the previous stage. So Dennis Kuipers comes into this final stage now in 9th place and on course for a couple of championship points, as he's done a number of times this on his first season.
Lovely slide out of that corner. If you can get it right and you know you can work it on the throttle, it's beautiful to be able to drift the cars in and out of the corners. It's the understeer that the drivers hate, because they've got no control over the understeer. The car just pushes and pushes and pushes. Oversteer, they've got some control over.
Terrific view from our helicopter here, and you can see how much this road winds its way around the edge of the valley.
It's so tentative, though, every corner.
You can actually see a shadow there. There's actually the sun coming out, which is, as you say, going to standing water as well in some places. It's going to be really interesting to get down to the sharp end with people like Loeb and Hirvonen, who are absolutely desperate for every point they can get. 2.9 seconds up on that best time from Khaled Al-Qasimi. This is a good run from Dennis so far with Belgian co-driver Frédéric Leclerc. Let's have a listen.
Links 22 lang. En. Links 15 vol. 22 lang. En. Links 15 vol. Om 100. Rechts 25. Om 80.
Locked up slightly under braking there. That was what that juddering was. And that's the tricky bit, is getting your braking right. But understeer is the thing that they fear, because once they start to turn, they get understeer there. A nice power slide through there.
Yeah, it's really a case of just sort of feeling your way, isn't it? I mean, the grip levels are so much easier to judge on bone-dry tarmac on this slick asphalt surface this afternoon. It really is going to be a lottery.
The grip difference from the start to the finish, because obviously the tyres are getting warmer as well. The road's drier, the tyres are warmer. It's like two different stages.
Whoa, nice slide again around the roundabout. Big cheer from the Spanish fans there. 3.6.5.
Much quicker than anybody else.
Up on Khaled Al-Qasimi. Another rally finished.
He was finding out the road for everyone else. Not that they can see anything from the start, but information can go between the teams. They're all in communication, so I wouldn't be surprised if the likes of Khaled and Dennis will now be getting information back to Jari and Mikko in their team. Obviously, Citroën have some privateers, one coming next.
Yeah, there's a confirmation then that Dennis Kuipers has set the time to be 3.6.5, still around half a minute slower than the time we saw this morning. Khaled Al-Qasimi and Lemes are in the top three at the moment. Our fourth car in is Evgeny Novikov, who's switched from a Ford Fiesta to a Citroën DS3 for this weekend. He's assessing a possible switch for 2012. He's actually yet to finish in the points. Actually, I don't think he's yet to finish a rally without super rallying this year so far, but he's done well so far in his first ever drive in the DS3.
Yeah, and the last time he was here in Spain in a Citroën, it was a disaster for him. 2 accidents in 2 days, and he's only got about 4Ks to go now to get that car through. Denis Giraudet, let's have a listen to the experienced Frenchman.
Right one half late gas, left one short, open 40 long, right 3 late, and 40 long, right 3 late.
Yeah, great to see Evgeny finally on course for a point-scoring finish. I just hope he can make it through these last couple of kilometres, because he's had a calamitous season really so far, but well, he's also benefited from these couple of late retirements. He's on the course to finish 7th, finally getting a strong finish under his belt, and yeah, as we said, finally the experience. 3.9 seconds up, really good run here from Evgeny. I was about to say, finally this experience of Denis Giraudet beginning to tell with the young 21-year-old Russian. Denny, of course, having driven with the likes of Didier Auriol and even Juha Kankkunen, he's won rallies with in the past. A really, really experienced campaigner, Denny.
Yeah, he's a man who's got so much experience. And I think this is where some of the frustration has been with Denny recently, with Evgeny. Because Evgeny's just not been listening all the time. Denny's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt. And he's been asked to sit in and be employed by Novikov to train him and help him. And then he's not been listening sometimes. And that's where Denny's experience is really coming in. And this weekend, in about a kilometre's time, it might just all start to click. Novikov is a massive talent. He just needs to finish the rallies.
Yeah, this
we could be down under 3 minutes if he gets through here quickly.
Definitely getting, you can visibly see the track drying out. Well, just a shade over 3 minutes, 3.1.2, but that's 5.3 seconds quicker than Denis Kuipers. So Novikov,
the road is drying so much. Evgeny's probably said about the condition of the road or something. He doesn't realise how much quicker it's getting. Every time a car comes through, the sun is out, and it's drying the road as well as the cars. As we were talking about, the cars are going through the stage, and we will see how much more we can get it closer and closer. Belagro, he couldn't know, he didn't want this rain because he's had a torrid weekend. Arriving late, only doing a 1 day of recce, the new stages. Last thing he wants is more time in the car on the wet surface instead of the dry. Yeah, he actually got held up by a volcano erupting in Peru, another volcano ash cloud out there in South America. It delayed his departure from Argentina, but we're great to see him here. I think he only managed to recce the stages he hadn't seen before, so not ideal preparations. No, it's not ideal preparations, but helicopter tracking Federico through the stage there as he winds his way up the side of the mountain. As you said, this road not used by the general public now. Nice bypass down past it. It's a lovely bit of road. It's got some cambers in it and some dips and dives. It's a little bit like New Zealand, but on tarmac, but obviously a bit wider. That road definitely looking drier now.
And as you say, it's a very different dynamic to a lot of the other tarmac rounds we see in the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, we do have the smaller, narrow sections on this rally, but predominantly it's this wide, double-width road, high speed. It's like circuit racing, you know what I mean? It really is a high-quality surface.
Yeah, new co-driver as well for Federico, Diego Coletto, alongside the multiple Argentine champion for the first time this weekend. Difficult weekend for them, and well, it's a shame they're not going to finish in the points in what I think is going to be their last event of the season.
that's it. There's just little bits of standing water. 3.6 down on the quickest time, which is Novikov.
Yeah, fairly tentative. Just wanted to make it through here, I think. Federico. Well, as we say, if it is drying out with every passing car, it could, of course, well, it's going to be an advantage for everyone running later on, but I wonder how much of an advantage Sebastian Loeb will have on the man ahead of him, Mikko Hirvonen, because every point counts now at this incredibly late stage of the championship. Remember, Loeb and Hirvonen arrived in this rally tied on exactly the same points in the championship. It really is becoming a thrilling climax to the 2011 season.
Be interested to see what approach the people further down the order. As I said, they've got no access to pictures here, so they can't see how the road is drying out. I mean, again, Federico will probably be spoken to by the team to give some latest input.
Yeah, still got a couple of other Ford drivers to come as well.
Here he comes into the roundabout. Just not wanting to take any risk. The problem is when you lock up on the brakes, once you lock up, you just kind of go straight to where the scene of the accident is. Yes, you know what I mean?
4 seconds slower than Evgeny Novikov. That was a fairly tentative run from Federico.
As you say, last rally for him in the Fiesta this season.
Yep.
Not contesting Rally GB.
So Evgeny Novikov and Denis Jourdain have a bit of a longer wait down there. There a little while. It's a very impressive time, I think, from the Russian.
Yeah, it's a good time. Let's see what Henning can do. Henning likes to drift the car a little bit around, so this might quite suit Henning. But again, a lot of these drivers very limited on wet weather tarmac driving. That's the thing. It's not many of them would have done it. I know when Ford had their big test in Germany, they did have rain on their test, but testing and rallying are two different things.
Yeah, and Henning, well, he doesn't really get much testing anyway, does he? So, yeah, he's not doesn't have that much confidence on tarmac. He enjoys driving it, but he's not a natural tarmac driver by any means. So, yeah, we could see a rather spectacular run. There's confirmation there that terrific time, really, from Evgeny Novikov is the one to beat. 3:01.2. Dennis Kuipers and Federico Villagra making up the top 3 positions at the moment as we watch Henning Solberg follow this snaking road around the valley edge.
That's it. Seems to be a lot. Let's listen to the pace notes. This morning we heard some description of the road really well. Let's listen to what Ilka's saying.
100. Line to 3 left minus. 80. Line to need 4 right, half long. In short 5 left. In 5 right, half long. 40.
1 second down on that time from Evgeny Novikov.
That's not bad at all. You hear Ilka saying there, line left 3 minus. What that basically means is get over to the right because the next corner is a left. So that's what you mean by line. So Henning obviously wanting to know exactly where to place the car on the road as well as what corners coming up.
Starting to see a few tyre marks. We saw this morning as well, where the previous cars not so much skid marks, it's just where they're, as you say, they're sort of hard on the brakes and leaving a mark. That's actually going to improve the grip as well as the drying.
Well, in the rain, though, it makes it worse.
Oh, of course.
The rubber makes it worse in the rain. You need to kind of take the wider line to keep off it. But now there's not enough water, I don't think. It was earlier on where the water was bad. I mean, there's not a lot of spray coming out of the back of those cars now.
Yeah, it's visibly drying, certainly compared to the first run through from Khalid Al-Qasimi.
A little bit just on the brakes, just locking up on the white line there.
I think Henning's
unfortunate. I think that might have just cost him it.
Yeah, he's slower than Evgeny. 1.4 seconds down, but Henning does slot into second place. Denny having a bit of a chat.
And coming into the roundabout, I think he had a chance. He just a little bit cautious in the roundabout there, but at the end of the day, Henning doesn't want to throw away his overall position coming into the final roundabout of the rally.
No. Yeah, good run for Evgeny. Didn't take long to adjust to the Citroën DS3. Back on the start line, Mads Osberg screaming into the stage.
Let's see if Mads can topple the Russian.
Terrific acceleration, isn't there, on these cars? There's no launch control, but they really do fly off into the stage.
This end of the stage is still a lot wetter, because obviously the rain did blow from the finish across to the start. So it is a lot wetter still at the start of the stage.
Yeah, well, Mads has had another terrific run this weekend. He didn't have We had a couple of problems technically, didn't arrive with ideal preparation either coming here, but been another good weekend for the young Norwegian, and we've had confirmation he will be back.